I will show you 8 opportunities in this wonderful country and some problems, and in the end I will tell you why it's very important to make this decision fast. After the pandemic, the world has changed forever. Now, more and more people do not need to live where they are working, and they are thinking where to move, where to live, what is the best place for them to live. So in this video I will explain you some opportunities living in one of the poorest countries in Europe. So let's dive deep. I live in Tirana, Albania, one of the poorest countries in Europe, and I have traveling all around Europe these years. So I can give you a good perspective of our differences. Before I start talking about Albania, this beauty that it's around me, I can tell you that there is not such a place that fits for all. You will never find this place, so it depends on the type of people. For example, do you see opportunities or problems in the things that you encounter during your journey? Because it's the same thing, the opportunity and the problem, but depend on what you are looking for. And in Albania, you will see more of each of them. Also, another thing is, do you want a life which is easy? You just need to do the minimum to survive, a simple work without worry? Or do you want to have adventure? Do you want to enjoy life in full? If it's the first one, Albania is not the one. Here you will enjoy and you will have challenges, and the life will be so colorful that it's not easy to find in the developed country. The first, the energy is amazing. There are a lot of young people, which is probably the youngest country in Europe, and the lifestyle, it's amazing. In Tirana, for example, there are a lot of coffee shops, restaurants, bars, and they are full of people hanging out together, making experience, talking a lot, and living their life in full. This is amazing when you compare it with some developed country where there is just work, boring stuff, and again work, and staying home. This is not the case in Albania. The second, which is amazing, and every time I go out of Albania I have difficulties, is the food. The food here yet tastes as a real food. When I am in Germany or when I am in other developed country, the food tastes somehow like dirt, somehow like something without any taste. Here there is all kind of cuisines. You can find fish restaurants, you can find meat restaurants, you can find vegetable restaurants, you can find sushi restaurants, you can find almost everything, and everything is more tasty. Third, which is very important, it's here is everything cheaper than everywhere else in Europe almost. And you can have a good life with a good standards, very cheap. The food, the rent, the transportation, almost everything is much more cheaper than everywhere else. And this gives the other opportunity, which is you can be a real entrepreneur here, because you can test, you can fail, you can test again, and you can fail again, and without a lot of costs. And if you are aiming for some international business, this is the perfect place, because everything is so cheap and you can have much more time testing and improving, which is pretty much the entrepreneur things. And I am, for myself, a CEO of a company, and I can notice this when I'm talking with other CEOs in other countries where the cost of failing is so high. The fifth, the nature is amazing, because we in Albania have sea, have wonderful beaches, we have mountains, and they are very near of every place that you will be. We have Alps, when you can have ski in winter. We have rivers, for example, we have the last wild river, which is decided last month, and now Albania, Vjosa, the river of Albania, is the last wild river in Europe. Next, which is again one of the Albanian things. We are a very tolerant religion place. If you search in Google or if you are here, you will notice how tolerance for religions is our main thing. We don't care if you are Muslim, Christian, or any kind of other religion. We love all of religions and we coexist in a perfect way. It's not that we just coexist, we coexist in a perfect way. It's our thing. The next opportunity is that you are here much more worth it. We appreciate tourists. It's not the same as in Barcelona, for example, that the local hates tourists, or in Paris, for example, or in other developed country. We love tourists here, and also we love foreigner, and it's very easy for us to adapt, and almost everyone speaks some foreign language, Italian, Greek, English, or even German or Spanish. And we are really in need of some people that show us different perspective. We love this kind of idea, we love discussing with them. No one will try to profit from you because you are a foreigner. It's like you are welcome and maybe you can have some discounts because you are a foreigner. And the last but not least, you are near every major capital here in Albania, and the flights are cheap, but not only the flights. You can travel by car. In 3 hours you will be in Greece, or maybe in Macedonia, or in Montenegro, or in Kosovo, or even in Bulgaria for some more hours, or even in Turkey, or even in Italy. It's so easy to get around from Albania to every other European country. And now some huge infrastructure are yet being built, so it will be much more easier even in the future. 2 new ports, another airport is being built, and 3 major roads are being built to connect Albania with all the Europe. These are some opportunities, and when I discuss with foreigners coming in Albania, I see that every one of them is amazed by our country. But there are some challenges. You need to understand some local rules, which are not written. We don't follow a lot the written rules, but again, we have rules. You just need to understand the rules. You just need to see how we interact, how we work in the traffic, how we drive our car, how we discuss and how we wait in line, which is not the usual thing as it's in Europe or in developed country. Next is that you need to lower somehow your expectation about some standards. For example, the lines that you wait, it's not as easy to wait in line as is in the other country. You need to lower that expectation. And the last, which is very important, is that you don't fight the authority directly. It's very difficult for our authority, police, government, people or other authority to fight them directly. It's like they don't like being told what they need to do. Now, the last but not least, you need to know that this country is growing fast. It will be pretty much the fastest growing country in Europe for the next 5 to 10 years. Buildings are being built in a very intense way, so now huge buildings are being built, a lot of things are being developed, so I think this country will increase the standards and the cost of living within the next 5 to 10 years by much more than other countries. After that, it will be very difficult to find this kind of opportunity, this kind of lower cost of living anymore. But if you are planning within these next 5 years, just come and visit by yourself. You will be amazed. You can contact me and I can arrange you some guys that can meet you, but just do it as soon as possible. See you.